Greetings from Georgia, a country that until very recently served as a refuge for journalists and human rights defenders fleeing the persecution from their own countries. My name is Irma Dimitradze, I'm Georgian journalist and media professional, and today I'm here to tell you that this country has changed dramatically. A few months for Georgia to go from being a safe haven for journalists worldwide to becoming dangerous for its own. And let me tell you that the process of building democracy from the ruins left by Soviet occupation took years of hard work, painful reforms, and countless personal sacrifices. But destroying all of it happened frighteningly fast. So fast that many didn't even realize it was happening. And I'm telling you this because this is how Russian hybrid warfare works. It is far more effective than tanks, drones, and rockets. Now let me tell you about Press Freedom Index in Georgia. It has fallen by 11 places, and perhaps it should have fallen even more, given the reality. Let me give you some numbers. In just the past year, there have been 122 instances of physical attacks and injuries against journalists, 104 cases of unlawful obstruction of journalistic work, 37 fines imposed for covering protests while on duty, 19 legal prosecutions, including subpoenas, 11 unlawful detentions, 5 restrictive media laws, and 5 slap lawsuits. 108 cases of verbal abuse, intimidation, and discreditation. 29 attacks on journalists' property. And the list goes on. But on top of all of this, Georgia now has its first woman journalist imprisoned as a political prisoner. In the history of Georgia's modern independence, this has never happened before. Zia Maglobeli, a veteran journalist and founding CEO of 2 independent media outlets, Batumelebi and Netgazeti, that I work for, by the way, has been imprisoned unlawfully for 9 months now. And it is not only that she is subjected to political prosecution, but when she was arrested, she was subjected to inhuman, degrading treatment at the hands of police, in administrative building, in police station building. Yet, she was not even given the status of victim in the case. There has been no investigation carried out, no evidence have been retrieved, because, conveniently, there were no functioning cameras in the room that she was detained in, or in the entrance, or anywhere. All of this injustice made Zia to go on a hunger strike in protest. And she was on a hunger strike for 38 days. Her health was deteriorated so badly that we later found out that actually she lost most of her eyesight. And the clinic contracted by the prison didn't react on it, didn't take any effective measures. They didn't even inform the family. She retains only 10% of her vision in one eye, while in another, it's just light perception. Regardless all of it, she attended all the hearings for almost 7 months, and she never even for once took a seat. She showed her protest in this way by standing up to a power, to injustice. And I'm telling you the story of Zia because she is someone who represents the courage and determination of Georgian journalists and human rights defenders who continue to resist this regime, which now holds over 100 political prisoners. And just let me remind you that we are talking about a country which has a population of only 3.5 million. It's a tiny country, and also 20% of this country is occupied by Russia, and there are Russian troops on our soil. Now, with all of it said, I want to share with you experience and the reality that we uncovered last year. Together with my colleagues, I worked on an investigative article last year, and it was based on the leaked files that were provided to us from the ruling Georgian Dream Party's office. And these files contained the personal data of tens of thousands of voters, but I'm talking about, private, very sensitive personal data, something like from names to addresses, ID numbers, education, health records, criminal history, employment details, social benefits, the history of crossing the border, you name it. Everything that state institutions collect. And there is no legal way for any institution, even the state one, to have it all together. But all this information was, of course, illegally compiled and used for political manipulation, both in elections and also to shape public opinion. Because with the data, with the information like this, you can do whatever. It's, like something out of a science fiction movie where a supercomputer knows every secret of every citizen. But it's reality. And I'm sharing it with you because I want to tell you that what we are witnessing right now in Georgia is a new form of warfare, and it is a state capture through hybrid means. And it is terrifying in both nature and speed. Meanwhile, unfortunately, international monitoring and human rights mechanisms remain far behind in assessing or responding to these new trends and threats, by the way. It feels, when you think about it, it feels as if they are moving kilometers behind the reality. I want everyone listening to understand that we have entered a new era of authoritarian control with the new technologies. And if defenders of democracy, human rights, and rule of law-based order do not adopt this new reality, their efforts will be too late. Not only for Georgia, but for every country standing in line to face the same storm. From Georgia, I'm telling you what Mzia wanted to tell you, what she sent as a message from her prison cell. You should remember that there is something more valuable than life itself, and it's freedom. And for freedom, we need to fight before it's too late.